All right, folks, welcome back to yet another episode of Fresh Juice, an indie game podcast. I am one of your hosts, Tommy Fresh, and joined as always, it is
Matty Juice. What's going on, everybody? How are you? Episode 137, and boy, do we have a lot to talk about today. We're reviewing a game, a lot of game announcements, things like that happened as well. Gaming news this past week. It is a popular, hot week for video games. Tommy, what is on the menu for the people today?
Well, we're going to start off with a nice goat cheese salad, and then we're going to move into... Now, we got a great episode for you all because there was a ton of news last week, first of all. A lot of announcements, stuff like that. We can even speculate on, we're recording this on Monday, what the Nintendo Direct's going to say, etc. And we are going to be talking about our thoughts on Mina the Hollower as we've all kind of put some time into it now. And boy, oh boy, is that a game. And it's going to be a good time. We got a juicy take, of course. Always got to have a juicy take. Some notable releases, and then some listener questions, and of course the rec room. But stay tuned for it all, folks, because it's a good time. We're going to have a good time. Also, I do want to apologize for last week because I think the video on YouTube went up way later after the audio for some reason. So if you all noticed that, sorry. If you didn't, it didn't happen. It was all at the same time. So
there we go. That might have been me. I honestly don't remember, but
I think, well, I had to do something, and then I didn't see that the YouTube thing wasn't checked off or whatever, and because I went on YouTube later that day, and I was like, where's the episode? And I went on, and that was, but we fixed it. Everything's good. Everything's great. How are you doing? How was your weekend? We're all caught up.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I had a busy weekend. Friday, it was obviously Summer Game Fest, so right after work, I was watching that, and then just kind of hanging out. Actually kind of I think it was Friday, started watching, like, it's part of my rec room, so I won't say it, but started watching the show with Lady Juice that I honestly didn't think she'd be into, but we started watching it. It's like an older show, and I'll talk about that later. And then
Magnum
Saturday...
PI?
Yeah, Magnum PI. Yep, that's it. And yeah, that's it. But let's see. Saturday, I was on daddy duty for like 6 or 7 hours. So didn't watch any of the game show stuff. I think there was future game shows happening on Saturday. Let's see. What did we do Saturday? I don't even remember, but I had to return something from Amazon. We went to Kohl's. Shout out Kohl's. Don't need to box stuff when you bring it there, which is awesome. You just bring it there, easy peasy. And then, went to the mall as well. And yeah, it was just exhausted on Saturday night. So just kind of like passed out essentially. But it's cool because now Baby Juice, like in the stroller, she's now kind of facing forward because, when they're little, they face backwards kind of at you. So now she's facing forward. She's loving it. So like going to the mall and stuff has been a lot of fun because she's first off, she's like super quiet because she's just taking in everything. And then she just loves it. She loves seeing everything. So that's been fun. And then on Sunday, let's see, Lady Juice was on kind of mommy duty, essentially, brought Baby Juice to like a animal farm thing, and then to like a little birthday party for one of her friends. And in the meantime, I was getting prepped for the Xbox showcase, which I was very excited about because they had a special Gears of War Direct where they were diving into the new game. It looks awesome. Like, I think I've actually seen so many people that aren't even in the Gears being like, oh my God, is Gears and Xbox back? Because they really went back to their roots. I'm very excited. They built everything from the ground up, like truly, like from an empty hard drive, they said, and they literally recorded this is one of the coolest things is like they took the chainsaw from the first game, like the actual chainsaw that they used to record the audio for the first game from 2006. They got the same one to make sure that it sounded the same. And I'm like, that, I mean, obviously, I don't think it makes a big deal, but I'm like, that just goes to show like how much they're caring about this one. And you can really see it. Like it looks amazing. A lot of cool new things, a lot of cool lore stuff, and it just looks great. So was watching that, hanging out with our buddy Bags. He came over, we were watching it. Then I helped him move a futon. We went out to get a few
Nice.
drinks and stuff, which was nice. Watch a little of the Yankee game. And yeah, just we're talking about everything that was announced. I think the Xbox conference was pretty solid overall. Also, something else really cool that they did. I know this is like part of my recap, but they like announced a 25th anniversary like Xbox. It's kind of like all green looking like the original Xbox was, with that like translucent green and a controller. Well, I guess this wasn't aired during the show, but right after, like the CEO of Xbox, the new one, she came out and she's like, "Oh, if your badge says fan on it, you're getting a free one later this year."
Whoa.
So all those people started like freaking out. You know, they're getting a free brand new Xbox like later in the year. I think November it comes out. So I'm like, that's awesome. You know, like that. It kind of feels like that's what should happen during those shows. You know, those people
Yeah.
pay a lot to get there. And like, it's a cool fan service kind of thing. And it also incentivizes people to go to future years because they're like, maybe I'll get something for free too, along with the game
Yeah.
announcements. But it's pretty cool. So anyway, it was just honestly the weekend kind of flew by with a lot of fun stuff, a lot of dad stuff. Just it was a packed weekend, and it was a good time. It was a good time though. But what about you, Tommy? How's everything? Today's Monday, right? Yeah, today's Monday.
Today is
Okay, so
Monday.
there we go.
Today
I'm
is
all caught
Monday.
up. How about you?
You're
How
all
was your
caught
weekend?
up. Well, so I didn't tell you this, but I was at that showcase,
Oh
and
yeah.
I had a fan badge, and I got a free. No, I'm kidding. No, I had a busy, yeah, and actually a more low key weekend, I would say, than I've had the past couple weeks, and especially more low key than it will be then will be the next couple weekends as well. I have a busy few weekends coming up, but I on Friday, you know, the Knicks are in the NBA championship, and it's been a lot of fun to watch. So watch game two. It was another nail biter, and it's been a lot of fun watching the Knicks, and that was cool. And then we got game three tonight, which is in MSG. Should be interesting. You know, a lot of energy. But Saturday, what did I do Saturday? Oh, Lady Fresh was actually hanging out with Lady Juice at a bridal shower thing, and
Oh yeah, that's what happened. I forgot.
yeah,
I was like, I don't
yeah.
remember where she was. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I was able to just hang out. I went to the gym. I mowed the lawn, and then I just kind of like popped open a chair outside my garage and just had a few beers. It was a hot day. I was like, this is nice. It's just like enjoying my house, which is cool. So that was neat. And then yeah, so mowed the lawn, all that stuff Saturday, and hung out. But actually, my one friend was down visiting from Canada, so went over to a buddy's house, hung out, had a few beers. It was a good time. And then Sunday we had nothing going on, so I was like, "There's a new mead place not far from us. Do you want to check that out?" So we picked up like
What
a
is
nice
this?
big.
Like the 1700?
Yeah,
There's a new mead place they just put
yes,
in.
yeah. It's next to the blacksmith.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go down. Let's check it out. So we went down. We grabbed a nice Italian sandwich from this really good Italian deli and bakery over there, and we tried the meads, and they were not that good. There was one
Mm.
that was, but the one we knew one of them was not going to be good because the server was like, "Let me know if you don't like that one." And we were like, "Oh, okay."
Okay.
And it just was soapy. It was very soapy.
Really
Um,
soapy. Now, what
yeah.
what makes a mead different from like a regular beer?
Well, it's fermented honey.
Okay,
So it's
so
like
that's
totally honey based
hmm.
and
Why does it
usually
get
higher
soapy?
alcohol.
Is that
So,
just
well, that was it was a eucalyptus mead.
okay.
So
Gotcha.
like all the regular floral notes of the eucalyptus kind of got fermented out, and it was
Yeah.
all the soapiness of eucalyptus left. So it was interesting. It was a nice place. It was way too big for what it was. Like you went in, there was like so much seating. Is like there were probably like 20 people in there, like enjoying the mead, but it still felt empty. And I feel like that's like if I was like to like go in and consult them, I'd be like, you got to make this seem a little smaller because
Yeah.
it's like you're walking past it in this town and you look in and it's like, is this place open? Um, but it was fine. It was good to try, and some of this stuff was interesting. But yeah, and then we went over and I was like, let's keep the alternative beverage train going. We went over. There's a pretty good cider place near us as well called Burnt Mills, and they make great cider, and they were packed. It was like crazy. There was
Yeah.
like it felt like 100 cars, and
Damn.
they they it's cool. It's just like a barn. You go in, small bar, you just get your cider, and then like they have a field where people just set up their own chairs and tents and stuff like that. And they got like cornhole and all this stuff just like for people to enjoy. And literally it's just kids running around. And we were like, oh, we'll go sit over here. It's a little bit away from everybody. And literally while I was sitting, like we were sitting there, just like all these like 10-year-old boys came over and were just doing what 10-year-old boys do when they're bored. They were trying to probably get killed by moving pieces of wood, it seemed like. So that was fun. It was a good time. And their cider's really good. I tried like a peach habanero cider that was like fire. It was called
Nice.
Mrs. Peach Fire. But it was a good time, and then went back, hung out, just hung out on the deck. Some of the kids in the neighborhood, they were just playing wiffle ball, so I was watching them. And then actually forgot, we went to the meat place, went to the cider place, and then we went to the Discord place where they gave us a free Discord there, and we have a
Amazing.
fresh juice Discord. Please check it out. It's free for anybody to join. But let's get into some game talk. Are you ready?
I am ready. What is your juiciest of juiciest takes, sir?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't have a lot of bandwidth, I would say, to like watch a lot of the announcements and stuff like that. But like I was catching up on it, and then like I would see stuff on social media. But I saw one announcement that's really kind of outshining all of them,
Mm.
right? Big time, and for good reason, I would say. And that is the hit fighting game, Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee. It's
Ah,
getting a
yes.
remaster. Now, it is getting released the same time as GTA 6,
Oh,
right?
that sucks for Rockstar.
I know. That's my juicy take is Godzilla is going to exceed expectations while GTA 6 what's the opposite of exceed? Doesn't meet
Yeah.
expectations.
You think
So
so?
there's only one person that can take down Grand Theft Auto, and that is Godzilla, I would say. Did you play Godzilla Destroy All
Yeah,
Monsters
I
Melee? Yeah,
did
we
back in
we
the
had to
day.
have played
Yeah,
it.
yeah, of
Yeah, on
course. Yeah.
GameCube.
Yeah, I mean
It's
it was great. I mean, I feel like they've tried to make other ones. I don't think they were like right. I feel like they've tried to make other ones
There was
that weren't
another one on
exactly
the
the
next
same.
gen.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't quite capture everything. Now it looks like it's going to have local and online multiplayer, new first player stuff going on in there. I mean, and it's Atari, so you gotta love some Atari love there.
Yeah.
Always really impressive what they're doing at PAX for sure when we go. So Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee, it might outsell GTA 6.
Yeah.
That might be my juicy take, actually. It's going to change.
Outsell?
Yes, per capita.
Okay. All right. Hey, that might be the juiciest take that I have heard. And you know, I think that there is a chance GTA 6 underdelivers, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like the only way that that happens is if it's a disaster launch of like things
Mhm.
aren't working. Basically, like if things aren't working in the game. I feel like if they release it and even if like the gameplay isn't super amazing or innovative, it's still going to sell like hotcakes and it might
Sure.
break every record ever. But I think that
Not to be
Godzilla is going to be right behind them. Uh, now, when was this announced? I feel like I missed this.
This is announced yesterday.
Okay.
This is announced yesterday. And, based on my TikTok algorithm, it's going to be huge. It's going to be the biggest game maybe ever.
I mean,
Now,
yeah, to be fair, I haven't had any GTA 6 TikToks show up recently. So,
can I expand on this GTA 6 thing?
Yeah.
Do you mind if I vamp a little bit here? I don't know if that's really. I think I don't understand the hype with GTA 6, right? Like, was GTA 5 that good? I remember like Vice City and like GTA 4, I think was pretty popular. And all these games were really popular when we were younger. But like, haven't we got the GTA thing out of our system? I never looked at Grand Theft Auto, and back then even I was like, there's no way this is going to be a series that goes on and on and on.
Mm.
But what is it about this series that people are so excited about? What changes? Like,
Yeah.
you can steal cars in a different way.
Yeah, I've never been super into GTA. Like I also I struggle with the controls in Rockstar games in general, like even Red Dead. I'm like, it's just it kind of like gets in the way of me enjoying the game because I'm like, why is it set up like this? But anyway, and that's probably because I didn't really play them growing up either, so I'm not really used to it. But I think the GTA is like, it's one of those games where people are excited to like role play essentially. So it's like in a new city. I think this one's in Miami or whatever. But I do know that like, all right, so the campaign and all that stuff, I'm sure people enjoy, but it's really like the GTA Online. That's like this sandbox where you get to kind of do racing games or whatever. Like people make their own game modes, I think. So I think that's what mostly probably people are looking forward to with GTA 6, but it kind of has become this like
It's like a meme.
like a Half-Life 3, yeah, kind of like it's like the next Skyrim kind of thing where it's like, is it really going to meet all those expectations? Like, I don't know. The only reason I get excited about GTA 6 is not because I'm planning on playing it, but I'm excited to see, yeah, what is that thing that they talk about that's like, oh, I've never seen that before in a game, right? Or like,
Yeah.
can they innovate, and really, um, really kind of bring like kind of change the gaming industry with like, this new feature, this new thing that GTA does that now all these other games are going to adopt. Like that's what I'm curious about. But I honestly, like, I don't even know if I'm going to be playing it. But I know, Jesus, I kept thinking there was a spider on me, but it's not a spider. Because there was one coming in my house earlier and I had to kill it, and it was a bigger one. But when that happens, when you see a spider or something, and then all of a sudden you start feeling them on you, that's got to be called something. Schizophrenia, I don't know, but I think that
senses.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't get the allure of like, yeah, what could GTA 6 do, right? That's got people so excited, but I think it's just like that sandbox kind of thing that gets people excited. Not necessarily that it's like, oh, all these new features, but it's like all my friends are going to be on GTA 6 again. Like we're going to be having a great time kind of thing. I feel like it would be like as if there'd be like a Minecraft 2. And it's like, well, what's Minecraft 2 going to do that like the original Minecraft didn't do? But hey, all my friends will probably be playing it, so it'll be fun. That's kind of why I think people get excited, is like it's like a big event in gaming. But I have seen people say that it's going to sell more than any book, movie, like which I think GTA 5 did.
Really?
I believe GTA 5 at one point was like the highest selling like entertainment thing out of books and movies and albums, like anything like that. I'm pretty sure it was. I can look that up.
Yeah, is it beating? It's beating the Bible. Like,
I mean, it is the Bible.
I'm not, like I'm not like a Bible fan, but like they can't deny the numbers. It does.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But also, sometimes they're just in the hotel rooms. It's like, I didn't ask for it, but it was sold to the hotel, I guess.
Yeah,
so it's like,
true.
But let's see. Grand Theft Auto 5 is the second best selling video game of all time behind Minecraft. But I think at one point it was the best selling video game. I'm just gonna ask, what about like books and movies? It would be wild actually if GTA 5 sold more than the Bible. It would be crazy. That would be the title of this episode.
It could be listen, this is the internet. It could be the title of the episode anyway.
Yeah, the Bible has sold over 5+ billion copies. GTA 5 has sold 225 million copies. So definitely not on the level of the Bible.
Close. We're close.
Yes, but it has sold more than like Avatar and Avengers Endgame, like revenue-wise.
Oh, okay.
Over
that's fair.
$8 billion, and Avatar's at like almost 3 billion. So more than double, which is pretty impressive. But also, a video game is more expensive than a movie ticket. So at least for right now.
Yeah.
So
and it's for sale for longer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. True. Yeah. You're not. Yeah. There's no sales coming in for Avatar unless it's like renting it now or buying the disc, I guess. But whoever's doing those two things, I don't know. But anyway, that's your juicy take, Godzilla. So what do you predict? Like, are you saying that Godzilla is going to sell more percentage-wise of what's expected, right? Because I think if you look at it like that, that would be interesting. Is like, all right, GTA 6 beat expectations by 2%, but Godzilla beat expectations by 30%. Like, is that kind of what you're thinking?
I would say so. I don't know how you measure expectations. I mean, yeah, sure. I'm sure there's sales goals for both these games, but first of all, I think it will be better received for sure. Actually, this is a definitive take. Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee Remaster is going to be better received than GTA 6, because I think this whole GTA 6, what about this game is taking so long? Why does it keep getting delayed? Right? What about this? There's something fishy going on, right?
Maybe they're trying to get Godzilla in the game, and then all of a sudden GTA 6 is Godzilla Destroy All Monsters.
Well, anyway, so I think the new Godzilla movie comes out around the same time as well. So it's going to be a big Godzilla time. It's going to be very exciting. Nice. I like Godzilla. The last Godzilla I saw, the most recent Godzilla made me cry in the movie theater, folks.
Is that -0?
-0, -1,
or whatever.
Whichever one it was, the next one is the other.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's a juicy take.
Let's
go, Godzilla.
This is a pretty juicy one. I don't know if that's even been said before.
Oh, people are saying it on TikTok.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm like, you might have just had an original thought.
No. This is not an original thought. Everybody's like, It's like there's only one person that could go against GTA 6. It's Godzilla. So
Yeah.
he's going to be moving like crazy. But let's get to some notable releases this week. First, big release, 33 Immortals coming to Steam this week.
Yeah.
June 10th. Pretty exciting.
It is, yeah. Plus, they do have a demo on Steam as well. Obviously, if you've been listening to the show, you know we love this game. Excited for it to come on Steam. I might even pick it up because it'll be easier to play on the Steam Deck, and maybe even the Thor. I might run it well on the Thor. I don't know, but yeah, pretty exciting stuff. June 10th. So yeah, the day this episode comes out is the same day 33 Immortals does, and it's 1.0. Right? Yeah.
Is it 1.0? Yeah.
It doesn't say releasing in early access, so I'm assuming it is.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah. So amazing. I actually think June 10th might be the date it just hits 1.0. I could be wrong. Yeah. They're heading towards 1.0 release on May 11th. They posted it. Yeah. So June 10th, it hits 1.0 and releases on Steam.
Ooh,
pretty
awesome.
awesome.
Be sick.
Yeah.
Gonna be sick.
Yeah. We'll have to hop on.
Yeah. We can probably, now it's on Steam, we can probably get more of our buddies to do it too.
True. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. Obviously we've been kind of following this game for a minute now. It'll be fun to hop back into it. Yeah, if I can get it on the Thor, that would be really sick. So, but yeah, what else do we got here? What is this? Trials Survivors?
Yeah, I just threw this in. I was looking at some games that released actually today. This one came out June 8th. It's only got one review. It's another Survivor-like. It's in early access. I just thought this one looked kind of cool. Like it's kind of. I'm trying to think of like what it. I know we played that game Spell Brigade. It kind of gave me a little vibes of that, but I don't know. This one, I just like the camera angle kind of thing. Kind of gives me like little dungeon crawlery sort of vibes. I don't know. It's another Survivor like, so I don't know how good it actually is since it only has one review. But yeah, just wanted to call it out. Trial Survivor. It's also featured in the Steam Bullet Fest. That's how I found out about it, which is going on through June 15th. So I guess all games with like bullets and stuff in it. But
I think Bullet Hell games mostly, right?
Bullet
like
Hell,
these,
yeah. Yeah.
This game, Arms of God, looks pretty crazy too.
Yeah, I was looking at that one. Yeah, it does look sick.
Yeah. Early access just started, I think, on that. But yeah, I feel like we're all, and by we all, like me and you, are pretty kind of burnt out on these bullet hell games, but
yeah,
they are popular for a reason. People do like them, and it's always cool to see like how people are kind of doing new stuff with it. So
yeah. And until they do the Survivor 99, then I'll probably get back into them. But yeah, it's a lot of the same flavor.
Yes, it is. So let's get to some news. Game announcement recap. You probably have more recaps here. There was a lot announced the past, 2 weeks? No, just 1 week at this point.
Yeah, over the last week or so. I did write down some games here. Honestly, I didn't write down a ton of games this year. I feel like I've written down more in the past. But yeah, happy to go over kind of some of them that I thought looked cool. There is a new or remastered Rayman Legends that's coming. That's pretty cool. And this is part of the Sony showcase. Rayman just for some reason, he holds a special place in my heart. I still want him in Super Smash. And I remember playing the one on 64. I even played the one on Game Boy or Game Boy Advance. But this is awesome because it has 4-player couch co-op, which I think could be a lot of fun. You don't really see couch co-op a lot in a lot of games, especially 4-player couch co-op. So yeah, remaster of Rayman Legends. And then there was the new God of War got revealed as well, which looks cool. You play as Kratos' wife, who spoiler, she she dies in the games, and so you're playing the afterlife of like the Norse
Whoa,
afterlife kind of, um,
that's cool.
where yeah, well, it seems pretty cool, and then also it looks like they're kind of mixing in like Egyptian mythology sort of stuff as well, because there's like some Egyptian gods and stuff in it. I don't know, it seemed kind of interesting. And then there is the companion is like this gelatinous cube that has a sword in it, and like both thing the sword or the ribbon on the sword talks, and the cube that talks, it's people were like making a big deal out of it. It's the guy from The Boys, Jack Quaid. He's like the
Hmm.
voice of I don't know why people were like making a huge deal out of that. I'm like, okay, like yeah, he got a voice acting gig. Like good for him. I don't know. But yeah, so I wrote those
His
down.
dad's famous, so of
Yeah.
course he was going to get a voice acting.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I mean, he was like the main character in a TV show, like a pretty
Yeah.
well-known TV show. I'm like, yeah, okay. I don't know. People were like going nuts over that. Um and yeah, and then they announced Summer Game Fest. They did Cuphead 2. They said they're working on. They also have Mighty Cuphead Adventure that they're working on, which is like it's like a platformer Cuphead, which seems kind of
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Almost
Um
like Super Mario 3, kind of looking like it looks awesome, to be honest.
yeah, it is not on Steam yet because
Might
too
not be on
early,
Steam yet.
but
Yep.
that looked cool. There's another game that I wrote down, Hex. I don't know how to pronounce this, but looked pretty cool, kind of like a co-op, like, you know, kind of, I don't know if it's survival, but it's like an adventure, kind of like you're gonna go fight some monsters on this weird world kind of
Looks
vibe where
terrifying.
you partner with like you can co-op up, I think, up to, yeah, with three friends, and I don't know, it just seemed interesting. I don't really know much about it, but it's coming to early access, I guess later this year. Guild Wars 3 got announced, which I know a lot of people were excited about. It's like in this world of MMOs where things are shutting down and all that. There's a new Guild Wars coming, which I know people love. So I wrote that down. I've never played Guild Wars. Probably won't play Guild Wars 3, but I wrote it down because it looked cool. Um, let's see. What else? There was Last Harbor. This is like, I wrote down like 6 games for Summer Game Fest. Last Harbor is from Tiny Build, actually. It's kind of like another survival kind of game, but you're like stranded on a boat, which kind of seemed cool. And you're in Washington State, and you're kind of going island to island. So that seemed interesting. Then I wrote down Soulframe, which is from the Warframe developers. It's like their next, it's kind of like I guess like a MMOE Souls like kind of thing, which I'm in the alpha for Soulframe, but I haven't really played a lot of it because it was pretty rough around the edges when I did play it. So that was cool. And then, yeah, Gears, there's a Fable, Halo campaign Evolve got announced. I did want to bring this game up, though, because I thought, I don't know if this is technically indie, but figured you might be interested in this, too. It's this game called Bad Magpie. You're a magpie with one wing, and you're just like, I don't know, it says steal shiny trinkets, cause chaos, and stick your beak where it doesn't belong, but it kind of seems like I don't know, like a little adventure kind of game where you can't fly and you're just kind of hopping around. Like there's little puzzles and things like that. It seemed kind of cool. It was like during the Xbox showcase. So something to keep our eye on of potentially a game. I guess an indie. I don't really know if it
Maybe.
technically is. It's published and developed by Milktooth, who
Oh.
I've never. Yeah, I don't. I think this is their first game, so I don't know, but it's not published by Xbox or anything. So I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, maybe it is technically indie. I'm not really sure,
It's
but
giving me short hike vibes, I
yes,
think.
yeah, similar, especially art style wise, I'd say. Um, and yeah, that was, there's a Nintendo event tomorrow. I'm sure we'll have a lot more to talk about next week from that event, because they like to showcase indie stuff and hopefully an Ocarina remaster. Oh my God, please. But the last thing I'll say about the announcements is that I was very disappointed with Summer Game Fest, not because of what they were showing, because a lot of it was like stuff I'm not into, like Final Fantasy and all that sort of stuff. Like people were hyped about it, which is great, but I'm not into that sort of stuff. But there was a ton of lag on the stream, whether you're watching YouTube, Twitch, whatever it was, which is understandable. You know, there's audio lag or whatever. They fix it pretty quickly. But my big issue was that they were running ads on YouTube and I think on Twitch during the show, which I think was a mistake. Like, I don't think they meant to. I think maybe someone left that toggle on, but like literally during like a trailer, you'd get like a YouTube ad that, and the whole chat would be like, what the hell? You know, like they'd be like, because everyone would get it at the same time. And it literally made me, I like subscribed. I've been wanting to subscribe to YouTube Premium. And I'm like, now is the best time, you know, to do it, I guess. So I did that. But I was very disappointed with that. I hope that that is not something that's going to continue, because I'm like, people are obviously there to watch the trailers. And if you do that, what's going to happen is people are going to wait for the show to end and then watch it, so that they don't have to deal with ads, which is not what they want. I'm sure they want people tuning in live. So that was just a disappointment from my side of things with the show. But anyway, those are really the only games I marked down. There was a lot more announced and stuff, but those are the ones. And Godzilla, I didn't realize Godzilla. I must have missed that somehow. It might have been
yesterday morning. I don't know what that was a part of.
Okay, yeah. So I wasn't watching stuff in the morning, so that was probably why. But there's more I need to kind of comb through. There's this great website that it's called gamesrecap.io, where you can filter by all the different fests. You can easily see all the trailers. So I still got to go through this whole list here. Apparently Windrunners was shown too. I know we've talked about that. So that's coming to early access.
A release date.
Yeah.
And there's a new demo out. So I because they took down the old demo. That was a really fun demo. So if anybody's kind of interested in that, I would check out the Windrunners demo. But yeah, it's getting released on in September. Nice. I had a couple other things.
Yeah, go for it.
Ascenders Beyond the Peak got a demo that's out now. This is a game that you shared with the Discord, I think. So I'm keen to hop into that demo. There's a game that we've talked about a while ago called Another Door, which is like a party game roguelike.
Yeah.
That has a demo out now as well. I'm keen to hop into that. What else did I see that was kind of interesting? I think After Quest looked pretty cool. I thought that was a game that, it looks like more up my alley. And then I think we talked about Dungeon Lurker last week.
Yeah.
But that game is looking cooler and cooler to me as well. So
yeah,
that's really all I saw. Also worth noting that the game Seal of Solitude, that had nothing to do with the actual game like announcements or anything like that, but they've been doing some major updates, or like the dev has been doing some major updates like for the actual development of that game. It looks pretty sick.
Nice.
So if anybody's interested in that. But yeah, other than that, tomorrow is Nintendo Direct, hopefully Ocarina. I mean, it's pretty much.
Is there anything else
would be cool.
You're hoping for outside of that? Like
okay. You want to know the dream?
Yeah, give me the dream lineup.
A new Wario Land.
Ooh,
would be sick, because Wario Land 4 is like one of my favorite Game Boy Advance games of all time. If we got like a how like they were doing a lot of the side scrolling Marios, like they did Super Mario Wonder is the most recent one. If they gave us a like that style, like really updated version of Wario Land, game over.
Sick. It's funny because like they like Donkey Kong Bonanza was like rumored to be originally a Wario game,
yeah,
and then because if you play it, you're kind of like, this would fit with Wario. So I feel like they have to have something cooking with Wario if they were thinking that, if that's the rumor's true. So that would be awesome. I'd love like a new Wario experience, because I feel like the only thing I've ever played with him in is like, obviously the party games and stuff. But yeah, like WarioWare is like the only thing I've ever played with him in. So it'd be cool to get some more there and see how he's different than the other characters. What about Waluigi?
Waluigi would be sick. Now, Waluigi, okay, this is like how it's gonna go. Oh, we got one more thing, and Waluigi is like opening up his mailbox, and he's got the Smash thing, the
Oh my
Smash
god.
invite,
Yeah.
dude. I mean,
That
it
would
would
be
break
cool.
the internet.
It
It would
would.
break the internet.
It would. That would be
So,
awesome.
yeah, it'd be sick. So that's what I'm hoping for. I don't know. I don't know about you. I mean, I think Ocarina is almost like locked in, right?
Yeah, I would be shocked if they didn't do
Some
anything.
kind of Zelda.
Yeah. I'm hoping for obviously Ocarina remaster. I'd love to see also another Zelda in the style of the new Link's Awakening, like another
Yes.
remaster of an older Zelda game. That would be like that. Maybe even like Four Swords, but it looks like that would be kind of cool.
That'd be
Uh,
neat.
I'd also love to see an expansion, more courses for Mario Kart World.
Hmm.
I think it would be cool. And I mean, outside of that, it'd be cool to get like a teaser for like a new Animal Crossing, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
been 6 years, like maybe a teaser, maybe it's like, hey, 2028, new Animal,
Yeah.
something like that. I'd be like, all right, hey, at least we know you're working on it. But I know that they said that they're focusing on games that are releasing later this year. But it'd be
Yeah.
cool if that was the one more thing, maybe something like that.
Hmm.
Um,
I
but
would
yeah,
guess a new 3D Mario would be the thing they would tease, but I
yeah.
don't think we're getting that this year. I think it's the year Zelda. So
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Good.
yeah. Some other news: Vampire Survivors: Legacy of the Blood Moon is coming this summer. Also, there was an interesting thing about like Ponkel, the or whoever is in head of the Ponkel studio came onto one of the showcases. I forget which one it was, but maybe it was the Future Games
Mhm.
Fest. But kind of like was saying, "Oh, we did Vampire Crawlers, and we want to expand that even further with different genres with Vampire Survivors tied in, and like almost like they're opening up to other."
Hmm.
I'm not exactly sure, but it sounded like they were opening up to other devs to work on stuff, which was really cool to kind of say, "Hey, let's experiment with this kind of world that they created."
Yeah. No, that I
But
mean that's all. That's kind of what I was thinking with crawlers. Is like, oh, maybe they're starting to turn this IP into like a bunch of different genres. So I'd be curious to see
mhm.
what they do.
Yeah, but yeah, another update. I mean, Vampire Survivors just always putting out cool stuff, and
Yeah.
uh, Ponkel also said that they were going to continue to update that game. So
Yeah.
there's no stopping with Vampire
Cooking.
Survivors. And then I saw No Rest for the Wicked got their 1.0 date.
Yep. Yeah.
Or launch month, I guess. Maybe it's not the exact date, but October. So that's exciting. This game has kind of like been like a snowball, right? It's just kind of getting more and more hype. People are hopping on more and more and getting really excited for 1.0. So it's cool to see that from like when we first started playing the game, which was
Yeah.
2 years ago, maybe.
I think so. Yeah. And I honestly like one of our buddies brought it up, Pat, in our chat, and I was like, I've been meaning to hop back in and play. I even reinstalled it on the Steam Deck, but I haven't actually gone in and played it yet. So maybe I'll just wait till October to do it if they're going to hit 1.0 there. But it's a really, I feel like they did early access correctly. You know, I feel like they took in a lot of community feedback, added some really cool features, co-op, things like that. So yeah, excited for the 1.0 release. It's a really cool game, and I would say if you like Souls likes, this is like it's obviously a Souls like, but it's a fresh take kind of on it. That's not
Yeah,
like other Souls like games. So yeah, pretty cool stuff.
pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And then one game update that was kind of notable this past week, but Grind Survivors got a skill tree and enemy variety update. So we enjoyed this game. So, if anybody picked it up that listened to our review, well, they're updating this game. Or if you're still on the fence, they're continuing to work on it. And this game's pretty cool. So it's cool to see some updates here.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I just wanted to throw this in here because they got new modifiers for enemies, gives a little bit more variety when you're playing, which is cool. So, yeah, shout out to them for continuing to put out some updates.
Shout out. Now,
Let's do
let's
it.
talk
Finally.
about IGN gave Mina the Hollower a 10. And that means it's a masterpiece to them. But they even made that joke, I think, which is kind of like a tongue in cheek and almost like a little bit of a dig at themselves, or saying
Yeah.
like, we know that we hated that one game that had mouse stuff going on. But anyway, what is Mina the Hollower? Well, it's from Yacht Club Games. As many people know, this is the team that made Shovel Knight, which is a certified indie banger. And this game has been in development for a while, and it's awesome that it's out. It's $19.99. It's on all platforms, it looks like, and you take control of Mina, a renowned hollower hurtled into a desperate mission to rescue a cursed island. You want to whip foes, burrow through the ground, and explore a pixel-perfect world in this game. And boy, oh boy, this is one hell of a video game. I have been enjoying my time with it. It is massive. This game is massive. You hop in, you play as this character, Mina, this mouse, who I guess, like, to kind of hit on some story notes here, was a little bit of maybe an engineer or somewhat to help kind of develop these like generators that have helped kind of keep this realm kind of safe. But all of a sudden, of course, these generators are being attacked and destroyed, or shut down, and you need to go. And these are the things that you are going to, the MacGuffin of the game, where you're going to go around and restore the power to all the generators. Now, a lot of the first parts of the game is pretty linear. You're going through, you get through to the first boss, where you kind of really see who the antagonist of the game is. You meet a lot of the other characters that you're going to be dealing with, and you get to the main city. And then after that, though, you go wherever you want to go, figure out how to destroy, or not destroy, to fix these generators. And it's a lot like a Metroidvania in that way. Is like, if you're not ready for this, you can go back and get better, or level up. I guess there's a little bit like Souls-likes in that way as well. Really, really interesting adventure game here. Very difficult, I'm going to say that. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I was playing a decent amount last night, and Lady Fresh was like, "Wow, what's going on?" I'm like, "I'm just bad. I'm just bad at this game. Don't look at me." But it's interesting. There's a lot of cool mechanics. You have like a weapon, and you have like a separate, kind of like, which is like a side weapon or whatever. I forget what they call it in the game, but
that you sidearm, I think.
Yeah, sidearm that you find throughout the world, and you discover new ones. Like, you can have like a dagger that you throw, or an axe that's almost like very much like Castlevania. Stuff like that. There's like I found like an umbrella that I was playing with that kind of like you can throw to use as a shield, and then also you can just pick it up again and throw it again, which was really neat. So those are the two main ways you're going to be attacking people, but you have this really cool mechanic where you burrow into the ground because you're a mouse, and it acts as like a way to kind of sprint, jump further and higher sometimes, and also as like a way to dodge roll in these like combat scenarios, which is like super cool. At first you're like, what is this? This is crazy. And it ends up being like such a smooth mechanic that like you really have to master, I felt like. And it's really neat. Enemies are really cool. I think that you're presented with new challenges in every new area you go to, whether they're through combat or just kind of like some puzzle solving here and there. But it is a really, really fun time. The gameplay here is really fun, and there's so much to discover. And I haven't felt like this in a game like since like Silk Song, I would say, where you're like, wow, this is just massive. There's so
Hmm.
much going on. There's so much to discover. And then on top of that, you get this really cool aesthetic that is very um, Game Boy Color esque, and we'll talk about that a little bit more as well. But I'm enjoying my time with this game, and kind of exploring and just finding new stuff. You're just like, wow, this is cool. Like, it's like, oh, I really liked. There was like a pebble that you could kind of skip and throw as your sidearm, which was neat. But then, like you find something cooler, like the umbrella that I said. I was like, actually, I want
Yeah.
to be using this instead. You also have like these, I forget what they call them as well, but like basically these, I think they're trinkets
Yeah.
in the
Trinkets.
game.
Yep.
Yeah, trinkets that you can equip as well. Like they'll do kind of like these like non-act, like these passive abilities for you most of the time, or will get activated when you get hit by something. But yeah, what else am I missing here? You have a pretty interesting like life system where you have like a spark, and if you die, you lose the spark until you go get it back. It's almost like Hollow Knight, where you got to go get your little soul back. And then if you don't get it back, you lose all the bones that you collected, and the bones are the currency in this game. So their currency in this game, they also help you level up.
It's
So
a Souls like. It's
it's
a
a soul.
soul.
It's a Souls like, man. But yeah, I really like the gameplay. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm with you. It also, I wasn't joking about it being like it is. It does have like some Souls like elements to it. I'd say it's not as hard. There is good amount of difficulty for sure, but I think it's because of the type of game it is. Like with it's like a Game Boy style. There's not a lot of kind of ways to cheese things, I'd say, like you would
Hmm.
normally find in like a Souls like, because you're playing in like three-dimensional space usually, and you can kind
And
of
you're a
figure out.
mouse.
And yeah, and you're that's hey, yeah, it's funny, you
Hey.
can't cheese things that easily with your mouth. Yeah, it's true, it's all connected. But yeah, I think also the I don't know if you mentioned like the way the health system works. It's like you have these vials of health, but then
Hmm.
they fill up based on the damage that you're doing to the enemies. And then like when you take damage, you kind of have this like yellow bar of your health that kind of shows like, oh, if you were to heal right now, this is how much you'd get back. Which I think
Hmm.
is a really great like gameplay element. At least that's how I think it works based on like when I was playing. I don't know if that changes with anything as you progress through the game, but I like that because sometimes I'm like, you're like, all right, it's not worth using a health potion right now. Um, so I'm going to wait a little bit or try to deal a little bit more damage. I also think that the digging system, at first you're like, oh wow, this is how I'm going to like get into new areas, right? And you mentioned this, like it's also like the dodge roll. So that was like a big learning curve for me, is understanding, oh, this isn't just for discovering new areas or like finding items that are underground and digging them up. This is also like a combat mechanic where you need to time everything correctly because it's the same. The dig button is the same as the jump button. So you kind of jump in the air and then you dig down. So there's kind of this little moment where like if you're in combat, you need to essentially start digging a second before you think you have to. So it's kind of this like back and forth that sort of happens with the enemies where you're like, all right, I have a window here to deal damage and now I need to go under, and it's there's a lot more thought that goes into the combat than you originally think, because it's not just like a Zelda game where you're shield and you're just dealing damage. You need to be like evasive, and you need to use the dig at the right time because you don't have unlimited time underground. It's a limit, it's only like a few seconds. And then it also, the dig, when you come back up, you can do a larger jump. So that also plays into it too, because you're dealing with like, you jump to a new area and there's enemies there. So you need to kind of like plan ahead almost when you're like, all right, I need to do this and then do that. And you can kind of see ahead of you. Like in order to get to the end, you need to do things in a certain way. So I really like that because at face value, like when you just look at the gameplay, you're kind of like, all right, this is like going to be like Zelda. But it really, I feel like it has more depth to it, and like in terms of like the puzzle, the way you need to solve things and the way you need to do combat. It kind of, that dig mechanic is just so cool. I feel like it gives you so much more freedom to like try out fun things. And then plus all the different sidearms and the different weapons, which by the way, like the starting weapons, I love what they do where they present you with multiple starting weapons and then they give you the opportunity to practice with them so you can decide which one you actually want to start with. I ended up using like the mace thing that kind of had a little range to it.
How was that, by the way?
That one I think had a little bit more of a learning curve to it, but I like the fact that I can deal damage like from a distance, because I'm also realizing it gives me a little bit more time to like decide if I should dig right away. Where if I'm like, if I was testing it out with the sword or with the dagger, you're dealing damage like right up against someone, and then they could attack you right away. Like it kind of just buys me a little bit more time, which I like. But yeah, I just like that you were able to play around with them, because just reading the descriptions, I'm like, I don't know which one I'm gonna want to use. So they do a lot of great things like that, and I think you've played more of this than me, but I've been playing on the Thor, and like it just feels so good on a handheld like that, where it just feels like it was like meant to be played on a handheld device, like any type of handheld. It just I really love like the responsiveness, how tight it is, and then figuring out the puzzles as well. It's kind of one of those games where like if you enter an area that you're not ready for, like you can kind of backtrack a little bit and like go to a different area, and maybe even level up. I do think leveling up, at least for me right now, it's like pretty expensive to level things up. Like you need to be very conscious of like what you're saving points for. And then when you're if you lose your bones, like that sucks as well. Like there's a lot of things that are very similar to like a Souls game. So I think it's like a really great blend of like Zelda like and Souls like that they've combined. And then they've also done some new stuff in terms of the dig mechanic and the different types of weapons and variety with that. I think from the gameplay standpoint, like it's hard, but it's not, it's like every time you die, you're like, all right, I can figure this out. I was close there. It's not, I don't feel like it's beating down on me, where I'm like, I need to rage quit essentially. But yeah, so I really enjoyed the gameplay. I want to play more of it. I love that I can just like play it on the go as well, because it just feels like one of those games where you should. But yeah, it's really well done.
Yeah, it's a good time, and it's got like a pretty extensive story too. It's if anybody played Shovel Knight, it definitely feels like a lot of similar writing tones and stuff like that. It gives it a kind of a whimsical feel to something that seems like it could be they could have gone down like a darker road, I think, for sure.
Oh yeah.
But it feels very Game Boy Advance, like era, like adventure game. Like, hey, like yeah, there's stakes here, but you want to, there's humor to it. The villains feel very what's the word I'm looking for? Like, yeah, they're villain, but there's a certain amount of cheesiness to it that like
Yeah.
feels like it's meant for a younger audience, but like obviously that we can relate to because we played a lot of those games growing up. So
Yeah. Very like in Zelda in that way, where like the enemies are kind of silly,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. So like I think that because of that, I think it adds to the nostalgia element, not only visually, but like it hits on that note from a story perspective too. And it's not like I'm not like coming home and being like, I gotta know what happens next. No, I want to explore this world.
Yeah.
But I will say, in terms of the story, they built a really cool world and like a ton of characters you can talk to. Like if you want to interact with this game like that, you can like talk to characters like for hours. It feels like there's just like new characters to find. It's always kind of fun to find a new character too, because you're like, oh, is this an enemy? No,
Yeah.
I can talk to them. That's good. So like there's like random like little lore drops every once in a while. Like, you know, you'll find like a graveyard and you'll talk to the graveyard keepers or whatever, and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, they're talking about this, that, and the other thing. So I think it's a nice vibe, and it definitely reminds me of playing my Game Boy, you know, when I was younger, and the kind
Yeah.
of games that it was. So I like that.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I also think that like if I understood it correctly when it was explaining it, like you're like being a hollower is like extremely rare in this
Hmm.
world right now. So like everything you're doing, it just makes it feel like you're like you feel special. Like you're like, oh man, like this ability I have, or like I am like the hope for this world. So I need to, I don't know, there's just like something there from like a story perspective where if it was just like, oh yeah, you know, like people just have this like in Pokemon, right? It's like there's
Yeah,
trainers, you
yeah.
know, but in this it kind of had that similar like Zelda vibe where like you feel like you're the chosen one, or like you're the only one that can get this done. So that's,
Hmm.
I mean, obviously, I think that's the theme in a lot of games where like you're the hero, but they do a good job of presenting it in this game, especially from like an ability standpoint. The fact you can dig, it's like, oh, you're a hollower, like you can dig. Like that is it's just cool how they tied it into like a game mechanic as well. And yeah, you can talk to like so many people. I remember being in this town, this area that you're watching right now, and there's just like so many guards that say like go back home or whatever, but you're still like I still was talking to all of them because some of them said different stuff. So it's fun to just kind of explore in that way. Also they just did something right there too, which was like this is I guess more on the gameplay side, but like one of the guards is like blocking a gate, and he's like, I think he says, you know, like oh, you have a letter from someone. Oh, that could have been forged. So like he doesn't let you in, and then all you do is just dig underneath him, and you're just like in the area. I just thought that was like funny, you know, where like they could have just had no one there, right? But instead, it's kind of that world building where you start to kind of get the vibe of what, you know, how the characters are feeling. And yeah, I think, you know, it's not a game where I'm really looking forward to, like you were saying, like uncovering the story, but I think it's great. Like the thing I get excited for the most is just meeting new characters.
Hmm.
Because there's some where I'm like, oh man, like I wish you were an enemy because you look cool. But like especially like even here, there's like this like stage that's happening here. There's all these cool looking characters here. And I'm like, man, like it'd be cool if some of these were enemies because I wonder what they would do. But yeah, it's so well done, and I don't even know like how much dialogue is in the game, optional dialogue, but it seems like there's just so much lore and world building they put into this. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, it's cool. And then like randomly it's like a bunch of animals, and then it's randomly just like a dude.
Yeah,
Like just like a random like regular human. So
yeah,
kind of funny. Visually, you know, this is the Game Boy Color era incarnate, right? Like I think, you know, if you're a fan of anything Yacht Club Games has done, they do this really well, right? Like Shovel Knight is such a beautiful game for pixel art, and Mina the Hollower is no exception here. You know, there's so much like if it I like the most about this, and this might be, I don't know if it's controversial, but it doesn't feel to me like they were like, let's try to modernize it a little bit. That
yeah,
doesn't feel like that. They're like, no, this is like this could be on a Game Boy cartridge, like
yeah,
Game Boy Color cartridge or whatever. And I think maybe the only thing that is different is I think like the color palette is probably a little bit more vibrant than a Game Boy Color game was. But maybe not. I don't know. I would have to go back and look at some other Game Boy Color games. But it's really impressive, and it looks great. I love the character design. You already mentioned, like, even just like, dude, I was laughing when I was talking to these characters on the screen right now. If you're watching on the YouTube, the little like pufferfish kid, I was like, this is hilarious. Like, I don't even know like where you even think, like, they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be mice and stuff like that, but like, let's get a pufferfish kid in here. Like, that's hilarious. And then randomly a kid, like a regular kid, but I just think this game looks really cool. Weapons are all very unique, but like I said, they don't really try to like modernize it. Like, they're not like trying to make it appeal to the modern palate. I would say they're just like, no, this is for people who like this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge win in my book, and it's why this game is being so well received too. It's unapologetically itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you could easily see this on like a cartridge, especially like you can even see right now, like the dialogue boxes, like they take up the full width of the screen, right? Like as if this was on a Game Boy screen, right? And like you had limited space to work with, but you still want everything to be like legible. Like, yeah, I think that's a great point of like, they didn't really try to modernize it, in any way, really. Even to the point where like, I feel like sometimes with the art style, like you might not realize you can even access a certain area, especially with like through the dig mechanics. So it kind of gets you to like experiment more, which is like what I remember doing as a kid with like Game Boy, with like, oh, can I go over here? Can I go over there? Like, I think visually they didn't do like the yellow paint thing, right? Where it's like, this is clearly the way to go. It's like they just let you explore and figure things out. And I think that just makes for such exciting moments in the game. Yeah, it's just so well done. I don't really have a lot of notes on the visuals, because I think they kind of speak for themselves. Even like the main menu, like the UI and everything is easy to understand. I would love to see if someone could actually port this to like, maybe not, maybe like I don't know, would it fit the aspect ratio? I don't know if it would fit like a Game Boy SP or something like that, but like, it could be cool if was able to run on that.
It looks like it would fit the Game Boy Advance, so I'd be like, so it'd
Yeah.
kind of have to fit on the SP. So
Yeah, that's true. But
yeah,
it's just been, I mean, just playing it on the Thor has like been amazing. But even that feels like I'm using a too modern of a device. Like, it feels like I'm playing, like I'm emulating an old game, right? But it's I mean, it just looks great. And I think also the Mina, right? The character is like, if I saw Mina show up in like a trailer, let's say 3 years from now or something like that, 2 years from now, and I just saw,
Mina
I'd be like,
2?
oh yeah, Mina 2, are they doing an expansion? Like, you would know right away.
Mina's gonna be in Smash.
Oh man, that'd be awesome too. Or at least in Frame Makers, right? The indie game Smash.
Yeah. What, didn't Shovel Knight kind of show up maybe in Smash, or am I just misremembering?
I don't know. Actually.
Like, not as a playable character, but maybe like a trophy.
Maybe, yeah. But yeah, the art style is awesome. Love it.
Yeah, really neat. And the sound effects and the music, I was listening to today when I was at the gym, I was listening to the soundtrack, just to kind of refresh myself, because didn't have it like really loud when I was playing, but it's great. I don't know if it's the same people who did Shovel Knight, which also had like a really great soundtrack, which actually have some of the tracks from Shovel Knight on my Spotify liked songs, but
Nice.
Very I would say pushes the boundaries of what you can do with that kind of chip tune. I don't know if this is 16-bit sound bites, but these pretty cool, almost orchestral things, but like, it's not orchestral because it's all beeps and boops, but it's it sounds good. I don't know if there's anything that I'm like, oh wow, this is going to be, I'll know this is Mina,
Yeah.
But for what this game is, it really makes sense. Sound effects are great. Even just digging sounds awesome. And then finding like hidden things underneath is very satisfying. Not only in a gameplay perspective or whatever, but like also when you hear it happen, it sounds really cool. The bones sound cool when you grab them and when you use them and stuff like that. So, yeah, it sounds good. Sounds good. It's a good sounding game.
Yeah. No, I don't have a lot of notes on the sound either. It's like I wouldn't know it was Mina if I just heard like the soundtrack. Maybe if I end up completing the game, then I'll be like, oh yeah, that's Mina, but definitely not from like a first impression, or just a few hours in the game. But yeah, I don't really have any other notes. I think you hit all of them. Sound effects are good. The sound is good, and it's what you expect, and it's not too annoying, which is great. It's not annoying at all.
No.
So that's obviously a plus.
Yeah, and I did actually just confirm Shovel Knight was an assist trophy in Super Smash Bros.
All
Ultimate.
right,
So
all right, cool.
you know, we could see Mina in a Smash game.
That's what they're going to announce tomorrow. Yep.
Oh, could you imagine? That'd be insane. It's why they were waiting so long to release this game.
Yeah, exactly.
But performance-wise, I played it docked on the TV, and it was good. It was I had no issues. I don't expect any issues with this game. It's it's basically a Game Boy game.
Yeah, no issues at all. And also one thing that like I love about this that I saw a video about it. Maybe you even sent it to me. I don't know, but the settings in this game, you can like change anything. You can be like, I want enemy health to be like doubled or like way less, or obviously the input controls you can change however you want. So I think like it was worth mentioning, I guess, in the performance section here that like if anything we've said during this show, during this review has been like it seems too difficult or anything. It lets you change all that stuff, which is amazing. Like I don't think I've seen a game in a long time that has let you had this much flexibility over how you should play it or how you can play it. So, yeah, very cool for them to do that. But yeah, I didn't have any performance issues, even playing on the Thor and on PC, obviously no issues at all. So, yeah, good stuff.
Sweet. Well, that's going to bring us to our rating. Our ratings are as follows. Certified Fresh Juice are S tier games. These are we've been on a run. It's 5 in a row now. A steal. These are games that are good, but not like great, but we still recommend a steal. On sale. These are games that are, somewhere in between, maybe need a better update or some fixes to them. Or, just wait till they're on sale, maybe a little bit too expensive. Manager Special. These are games that we didn't particularly like, but we could see why someone would like it. But we would probably suggest waiting for it to be on a deep discount or, free to play or something like that. And then Spoiled Milk are games that we don't like at all. And we think nobody should play them. But, Matt.
Yeah.
What's your rating?
I'm giving this a certified fresh juice. I think it's pretty easy. That's 6 in a row, which is just, we're in an indie renaissance right now, I feel like truly. And I'm giving it a certified fresh juice. I can't wait to play more of it. I think, I just think it fires on all cylinders here. Like especially if you were like a Game Boy kid growing up, this is like definitely a game that you should play. And then I like obviously that it's Souls-likey sort of, right? So not like fully, but there are elements of it here. So I think that makes it a lot of fun to play, and certified fresh juice.
I also am giving this a certified fresh juice. It is difficult, but it doesn't have to be. But I like the difficulty here, and I like exploring this game. I think the boss battles have been really satisfying and really cool, and kind of make you think in a different way. The whole burrowing mechanic is just so much fun. It's like really addicting to just do, right? Even when you're just not fighting, you're just like running around. I'm gonna dig through this. Yeah. So That has been, it's been just like a really, really cool game. I was I expected myself to like this because I was a big Shovel Knight fan, and I am now a Mina the Hollower fan. And I think Yacht Club Games, they're kind of like, kind of Mount Rushmore of indie devs at this point, right? And having two bangers is going to like really, really just solidify them. So very cool. Excited to see what comes next for Mina the Hollower, because Shovel Knight had a bunch of different spin-offs and stuff like that as well. So very, very cool. Next week, we're going to be playing a game called Curse Mark. So take a look at that on Steam if you want to take a look at what that game's all about. But we'll be playing that next week. But we do have listener questions. These come from the Fresh Juice Discord, which I mentioned at the top of the show, as I always do. First one comes from Bags, who asks, are there any console exclusive game series that would make you buy that console?
Yeah. Tom? No, yeah. So,
yes. Next question.
Yeah. So I could break it down by like, Xbox, it's Gears of War. Like that's easy. But also that's available on PC. So like, I don't really need an Xbox. But if it was like only on Xbox, I'd be like, yeah, I got to get that. For Sony, it's The Last of Us. Personally, for me, it's the reason I bought a PS5 and a PS4 for part one and part two, from what I remember. And then for Nintendo, it's funny with Nintendo because it's like if I didn't have a Switch 2 yet and I saw like an Ocarina remaster, I'd be like, I gotta get a Switch 2.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the only, probably the only console where a remaster of a game would get me to buy the whole console. Probably even with like Gears with Xbox, like if it was just a remaster that was out, I was like, all right, well, do I need to get this right away? I don't know. But, I also think that, Nintendo, it could be a lot of games, that could do that for me. I mean, I basically bought a Switch 2 because of Mario Kart. Because I love Mario Kart. So I could see Animal Crossing being a system seller for me. Yeah, there's a lot on Nintendo because they have a lot of exclusives. But what about you, Tom?
I don't. Well, it's so weird because I think the only exclusives that really I care about are like Nintendo exclusives, right?
Yeah.
Like Xbox. I mean, what really is exclusive that's like something that I'm really tied to? Nothing really at all, actually. Now that I think about it, like I'm interested in Fable,
Yeah.
but I'm not. It's not like I gotta buy an Xbox.
Plus, I think Fable's coming out on PlayStation too and Steam.
Yeah, but like just like if it was, I'm just like picturing.
Yeah.
Like I would say, and then like PlayStation, like Sony, like I don't know, I don't think there's anything, right? Like I don't really care about the Spider-Man games. I don't really care about like Uncharted. The Wolverine game does look cool, I will say, but I'm not like, I'm not gonna buy a PlayStation to play it, right?
Yeah.
Basically make your games for PC too.
That's the thing too. It's like, would you rather spend $500 to play it now, or maybe just wait a few years and it'll end up on PC?
Yeah. Trust me, I have plenty of games to play. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And it's like Nintendo is like the difference here, right? Like it's the outlier because they've never kind of experimented with putting their games anywhere other than Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's just where you find it. Like Nintendo, this is the difference. Like Nintendo is a Nintendo system. Xbox and PlayStation are video game systems that you can play a lot of different things, and like they are really good, like with specs and stuff like that. We know Nintendo doesn't have the best specs. We don't buy that for that. We buy it so we can freaking race around and throw shells at each other, right?
Exactly.
Like that's just But so that's it's Nintendo is really the only, like I think almost all all of the major properties from them kind of get me to want to play or buy a console.
Yeah.
Capolo asks, which country would you like to visit the most?
I mean, I would love to go to like New Zealand would be really cool. I don't know if I ever, it's just so far away. As far as one that's maybe a little bit more like I could see myself going to, Germany has always like interested me. There's a lot of history there, like Oktoberfest, obviously. I know, yeah, there's history. I know, yeah, but I would still be like interesting to see, right? Even though it'd be very sad, but
well, most of that's not in Germany. That's like in Poland.
Yeah, true, yeah. So, yeah, Germany probably, but honestly, I'm like I want to visit more like the US, like stuff I haven't seen. So, it's not those aren't countries, but anyway. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I mean, my hot take is that the states are oftentimes as different as like European countries are to each other.
Yeah.
Sometimes just we all speak the, English. And I think that's why I say I'm from New Jersey. And that's it. But yeah, country for me, does Antarctica count? Because that's where I want to go.
Yeah.
New Zealand would be sweet. Germany as well, not for the history. I would love to go to Scandinavia, a lot of Scandinavian countries, stuff like that. I have an interest to go to Mongolia, Japan at some point, probably. China is interesting to me as well.
Same.
But I would say New Zealand's like number one. I don't need to go to Australia. It's a little too dangerous. Even though it's like, it's not like you just like get off the plane and you just start getting bit by snakes. It's
nope, not going to Australia. I'll tell you that much.
But New Zealand, pretty sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for the question, Coppola. I hope Puerto Rico was a fun trip. I know you just got back from there. Carp asks, if you made a game, what kind of animal would you make the main character? Since we've been playing Mina.
Ooh, an anglerfish. I think that'd be kind of cool. Maybe something in the abyss, right? Or something like that.
Stealth game.
Yeah, like a stealth game, or like it could even be like a horror game, maybe something like that. Or even like a game like where you're like the runt of the litter anglerfish, right? Or something, and you're trying to, your light won't turn on or something. I don't know. You're on like a journey trying to get that working. I don't know, something like that. But I always thought they were really cool, even though they are horrifying. But they are very cool. So that's what I'll go with.
I would do a turtle, right? But not teenage or ninja. Not that there's anything wrong with Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles, but I'd want my character to be a turtle.
What, like a land turtle or a sea turtle?
Like one that walks around, probably, and can wield a weapon. So it sounds like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, but it's actually not.
And they wearing they got like a face like a headband over their eyes.
There's 4 of them. And they
live in the sewers.
Loves pizza. But thanks for the question, Carp. That will bring us to the rec room, where we recommend something that perhaps is not an indie game. What do you have to recommend this week?
I alluded to it earlier. I'm recommending Workaholics, which is a show that was on for like 5 or 6 years. I think in like 2011 is the first season of it. And for whatever reason, I've always seen clips of it that's been funny, and we just decided to start watching it. And I gotta say, the pilot episode for Workaholics is like better than other pilot episodes of other shows. Like the characters, like, how typically in shows like the first season, especially a show like that, like the characters aren't fully themselves yet. Like, they kind of almost got to get like the audience feedback to be like, all right, we're going to lean into this more, lean into that. They're their full selves, like the second you see them. And I just think that's really impressive. Like they're almost like perfectly cast for those characters. And also there's just like, it's not I don't know. The first episode just really was like, wow, they put a lot of effort into this. And then, so I don't know, we're like 5 or 6 episodes, I think, into the first season. But it's just been a lot of fun. It's been funny. So shout out Workaholics. Also, great theme song. And also a reminder that I think the show was on MTV, but it might have been on Comedy Central.
Comedy Central.
Was it? Yeah. But shows used to, and I didn't remember this until I started watching this, but before the commercial break, sometimes shows would like, they just kind of show a little clip with the logo of the show and a little soundtrack, and then it goes to commercial, and then when it comes back, it shows like the logo of the show with like a little clip of the show kind of, and then it goes back. Like it's kind of like an outro and an intro every time it comes back from commercial or leaves to go to commercial. And I was like, oh yeah, there were shows that used to do that, but now that doesn't happen because people are on streaming services. There's no commercials, right? Like it just fades, it goes to black, and then it goes to the next scene or whatever. So I don't know, but it's been a lot of fun watching that show. It's ridiculous, but it's I feel like I'm like finally at the point where I like can fully appreciate the show, because when I would watch it, like I watched clips of it like back when it was airing, I was just like, this, I mean, it's funny, but I'm like, I can't relate to it really. But now I feel like I can more. So it's not to everything they do, but it's been fun. So Workaholics, shout out to them.
Nice.
Yeah.
I could truly never guess what you're going to recommend each week.
There you go.
Like,
yeah, all over the place.
I mean, like, I guess like that's like the whole point, but like, I'm like, wow. I saw Workaholics. I was like, you know what? Yeah, that's a good show.
Yeah.
I don't know why Matt started watching it again.
I don't know. I only ever really saw clips of it. And I always was like, oh, it's funny. And maybe I had watched the first episode a long time ago, but I just didn't remember much of it. But yeah, it's been good. And obviously like Adam Devine, or right, that's how you say his last name. Divine, yeah. Like he's so young in it, but he's also like he's still so funny. Oh my God. Like just so hilarious. So yeah, great show. Boom.
Awesome. I have an album to recommend this week. Deer Tick, a band that I enjoy, came out with a new album called Coinomatic, and it's very good. It's John McCauley, the lead singer of Deer Tick. It's kind of like this prolific songwriter. They just pump out music. He's just really good at, just writing good music all the time, and this is no exception. Deer Tick, if you're not familiar with them, they're a band from Providence, Rhode Island, I believe. And they kind of have this like loser rock vibe, I would call it, right? Like, it's kind of like grungy, kind of like, we don't care so much, but like they write some great music, and this album's really cool. I would say it's like it feels like a new Tom Petty album. Like there's some songs where the other guy who sings sometimes, he sounds really like Tom Petty, and you're like, and I was like, oh, this kind of just sounds like a Tom Petty song, which is not a bad thing. So Coinomatic, some songs off of it that I really enjoy are, well, the first 3 tracks are really good, but ACI is probably the best song on the album, so check it out.
Nice. It almost sounds like a new roguelike game, Coinomatic, by developer Deer Tick.
Yeah, right? That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, should I just put Coinomatic and not Deer Tick in the link in the show notes? And you'd be like, oh, is this like a new game?
Yeah.
But anyway, you can all find me on Blue Sky at Fresh Buds Pod. I have another podcast called Fresh and Buds. This week, I'm going to Minneapolis for the Nationals. I'm not competing. I'm just going for the vibes. But I don't know who's going to be on the show this week. I'm in talks with the guy to do it, but I only have like one night to do it before I leave. So we'll see. You can find us on all socials at Fresh Juice Pod. Matt, where can people find you?
Find me at Matty Gorms, Gorm. I'm working on posting some more on YouTube, so be on the lookout for that.
See ya, Juice Heads.